All right, we got a big show to get to. I was off from work today, so I was able to spend a little more time working on the content of this video and my file. We're going to be diving in on the NBA, November 3rd, 2025, Monday, the day before Election Day. We're going to start off with the Week 2 Players of the Week. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the Western Conference, 28.8 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, led the Thunder to a 4-0 record. Most of his production is essentially identical to last season. This year, 63 true shooting on 35% usage with a 30% assist rate. Last year, 64 true shooting, 35 usage, and 31 assist percentage. So really nothing to really change with his ratings. The only thing I really noticed from his line so far is his offensive rebound rate right now, 0.4 offensive rebound rating, or 0.4 offensive rebound percentage, which would equate to like a 27-ish rating, a 1.6 steal percentage, which is lower than it's been in the last couple of years, and only one dunk on the season. Now, I don't think these are necessarily signs of decline. Rather, he's conserving energy for offense because he's the only offensive player on the team right now. So I think that is something that is actually reflecting in what would be considered like effort-based ratings. So I'm not too worried about that. It's still small samples. Everybody in the league has pretty much played like less than 200 minutes. OKC still has the number one defense in the NBA, but they are number 9 on offense compared to number 3 last year. Obviously, missing Jalen Williams the entire year, and Chet Holmgren has missed 2 or 3 games so far. So I've had Shai at 99 over the last 2 years. Nothing to really see here. I'm not afraid to give 99s, unlike 2K Sports. He's the best guard in the NBA. It's going to be his 4th consecutive season on All-NBA First Team. As long as he stays healthy and hits that 65 game requirement. James Harden was the last guard to do it 4 times in a row. He did 6 times in 7 years also. Of course, this is back when he was playing for the Houston Rockets. He was All-NBA third team with the Clippers last year, but otherwise had a bit of a gap. Hadn't really been at an All-NBA level since before the pandemic, if you can believe it. And then Kobe Bryant, he did it 8 times in a row, and then 11 times in 12 years. So that's the kind of company that Shai is in. Curry never did it more than 3 times in a row, as memory serves. He was always like, Warriors were always a great team, but he was never like the pinnacle, like best guard in the NBA at any given time. And then let's go over to the Eastern Conference. Tyrese Maxey was the Eastern Conference Player of the Week. 33.5 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, 9.8 assists. So I did boost his rating again. I've got him up to a 91 overall, +1 from where I had it, and +4 from where 2K Sports has him. 63 true shooting on the year for Maxey on 29% usage. That is up from 56% on 30%. So much more efficient. I boosted his shot IQ to an 85, which is +5 from where I had it. Where is the darn shot IQ? There we go. It's still early, so I'm not going to overreact on like the shooting numbers. Part of his true shooting going up is like the math game. He's shooting 46% on threes, which is +12% from where it was last year, only 34%. But that also is counteracted by him only being 46% on twos. Now again, as I'm going to say throughout, the sample sizes are still small. We're only 2 weeks into the year. 2K has a tendency to overreact to shooting sample sizes. There's just way too much variance to like really go in too hard one way or the other. I'm sure once the 2K roster comes out, they're gonna, which I think is gonna be the first update is gonna be on Thursday in a couple days. So I'll probably do a video on that once it drops. But I'm sure that their 3-point rating is gonna be ridiculous for Maxey, and then the rest of their ratings are not going to be changed because they typically overvalue 3-point rating, whereas I've recognized that it is a high variance stat. So I actually look for different anchor points beyond percentage. One of those is his shot creation. He's taking he's always been a high volume 3-point shooter, and then I believe it's 69% of his threes are assisted, which is above average. So those are, his he's not going to shoot 46% from three the entire year. That's going to level out. But if it levels out to like 40% on like reasonable volume, this is essentially what his 90 3-point rating is reflecting. Based on like what he's currently shooting, the 46%, I would have his 3-point rating at 45%, 46% is 91 as a base, and then that 69% assist rate, we're going to add 2 points to that. So 91, and then plus 2 based on his shot creation, and then 9.3 3-point attempts per 36. We're going to add plus 3 based on his volume. So 96. That's like how good he's shooting the 3-ball right now. But again, I don't think that percentage is going to sustain. So that's why I have him a little bit lower. Other key updates for him: a 65 dunk rating plus 5 from where I had it previously. He has got 4 dunks in 6 games, highest rate of his career, and double his usual rate. Again, this might go down throughout the year. Sometimes guys will they're feeling really good and healthy to start the year, and then they'll get banged up with like some ankle injury or whatever, and then they're not as they're not making high risk plays as much as they were previously. Donovan Mitchell's a pretty decent example of this. He'll be dunking a lot in like November, December, and then by the time it's the end of the year, he'll have like 4 dunks post All-Star break after having like 15 in the first half of the year. Something like that. But so far, Maxey off to the races. So I did boost his shot IQ, his dunk rating. His draw foul is up 15 points from where I had it, as he's taking 8 free throws per 36 minutes, which is essentially plus 3 from last season. So 60% higher than where it was, or 40%, whatever the math is. 51 defensive rebound, 48 block, plus 2. He's like plus 2% on his rebound rate, plus 0.7% on his block rate, which brings it to 1.8. So that's, again, like a substantial improvement. Whether or not it holds over the long haul remains to be seen. Actually, I forgot to apply it. His steal rate, comparatively, actually, we got to drop that by 4 points. Last year, he had a career high 2.3 percentage steal percentage. This year, down to 1.3%, minus a full percentage point. He's a career average of 1.4%. So last season was more or less an aberration. So we're just going to be trickling him down towards his career norms probably throughout the season. And then 91 overall. Based on the way he's playing at an all-NBA level. So if he's at this level still by the time like December, January rolls around, I could very easily just like apply a 99 intangibles to him and get him up to a 92. But I think the 91 is fine for where he is right now. I still am refining a lot of the point guard ratings in the roster. I've got like Jalen Brunson at a 93, Curry at a 94. I think Maxey, it still remains to be seen whether or not he's at the level of those guys. Again, it's only been 2 weeks, but what a 2 weeks it has been. And then actually a little bit of badge updates as well. I gave him Dimer, Silver, as his assist rate is way up this year, 33% assist rate, which is plus 5 percentage from last year. 2K has no badge on him there. And then Unpluckable, I boosted this up to a gold. Another badge that 2K doesn't have a badge on him at all. Maxey doesn't turn the ball over. He's got a 3.9 assist to turnover ratio, and he's always been really good at protecting the ball, not getting turnovers. So that's what I've got for Maxey. And then a little bit of league news before we jump into the games. Dylan Harper, he's going to miss the next couple weeks. Left calf strain. He's going to be out multiple weeks. So the Spurs are a little banged up. They're basically missing their entire bench for the most part. Other than they've got their full starting unit, and then things get pretty thin quick. We've got Jordan McLaughlin as the eighth man, Carter Bryant, who was supposed to be like their 12th man, 13th man, is now their 7th man. Yeah, so they they are definitely going to be missing Dylan Harper. De'Aaron Fox is not back from his injury yet, so they're going to be relying heavily on Stephon Castle. And this might have played into Wemby's subpar line in the last game because the connection between him and Harper has been really good. And then going over to the Hornets, Brandon Miller, we got just a little extra clarification on his injury. He's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks due to his shoulder subluxation. And then a little bit of good injury news. Jared McCain is set to make his debut on Tuesday. So he will be a welcome sight for the Sixers. They haven't missed him yet, as Quentin Grimes has been really playing well off the bench in kind of a scoring and playmaking role. So it'll be interesting to see how many minutes exactly McCain gets. And obviously, Maxey himself has been balling out. Maybe this leads to a little fewer minutes for Maxey, or it could also just mean that McCain is going to be brought on slowly because they don't necessarily need him, and it's very difficult to play him and Maxey together at the same time. So let's actually start off with the games, and we're going to go to the Timberwolves, who are 4-3, played their 4th game without Anthony Edwards, but it was against the Brooklyn Nets, so they were able to get the win, 125-109. Julius Randle came into this one averaging 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists, and he triple-doubled in this one with 19, 11, and 10. Dante DiVincenzo had 25, 9, and 5 with 6 threes. Jaden McDaniels, 22 points, Naz Reid, 21, and then Rudy Gobert had 15 points on 6 of 6 shooting. So Rudy hasn't turned a corner offensively. The Nets are really just that bad defensively. But just touching in on Randall, I did boost his rating for this video. I had talked about getting that done. 27 points per game is a career high for him. He only had 19 per game last season. Last season, of course, was a little bit of a down year. He averaged 19 last year, and yeah, 24 the year before that, 25 the year before that. So he's essentially back to the level that he was with New York when he was an All-NBA and an All-Star level of player. Of course, doing this without, even before Edwards went down, Randall was playing really well to start the year, so I think he's figured things out in Minnesota. So I've got him at a +2 overall rating. I did boost his 3-ball up a couple points, 85 draw foul, as he's been getting to the line a little more, 90 hands, as he's got, like, I believe, a 2.4 assist to turnover ratio this year, which is, he was under 2 last year. 70 defensive rebound rate. He's been rebounding it better. Last year was kind of a career low in rebounding for him. So he's that's closer to his norms. Currently sitting around like 19-ish%, which would be like a 73, 74. I'm splitting the difference since the samples are still small. 85 shot IQ, and then maxing out his offensive consistency, as he's been really good this year, which is a +14 from where I had him last year. I had him at 85. Going over to the Brooklyn Nets, they were on a back-to-back, so Michael Porter Jr. Sat this one out for allegedly personal reasons, but they didn't really miss him all that much in this one. Noah Clowney, he balled out in the starting lineup, 15 points in 32 minutes. He was 1 for 2 on 2s and then 4 of 12 on 3s. So, wow, 49 close shot rating is what they've got for him. So, yeah, Clowney, not the greatest interior scorer, shall we say, but he's really worked at becoming a respectable three-point shooter, which is not what he was pre-draft, if memory serves. But he's a player that maybe I probably need to get him to like a 75-ish rating. But he provided some energy that they're not going to get from MPJ. He was pretty big in the first quarter, making a lot of effort, hustle plays, etc. That MPJ obviously has the back issues. He's not going to make a ton of those type of plays. We had Tyrese Martin start again. He had 12 points, 2 assists, starting at technically point guard. If the Nets stick with this, I'm probably going to switch Cam Thomas to point guard rather than Martin, just because that's probably closer to like the roles that they play on the court. But it's worth noting that like Nick Claxton, he had 19, 8, and 7 assists in this game. 6 of 6 from the field, 7 of 12 from the free throw line. So one of his more effective games. The 7 assists that he had is the second most that he's had in his career. He also had a team leading 5 in the previous game. The Nets PR team put that stat out. So that shows that they're not running with a traditional point guard in the lineup. They are running things more through Claxton. So that is definitely something to keep an eye on. Could reflect in his rating and tendencies moving forward. As far as the rest of the Nets, 24 for Cam Thomas, whatever, kind of empty stats for him every game. And then the point guard situation, again, 2 points, 4 assists, 21 minutes for Igor Demin, not really very effective. And then Ben Saraf, 5 points in 3 minutes of garbage time. Essentially lost his starting job and is not really is towards the bottom of the lineup of the rotation now. And then Danny Wolf actually made his debut scoreless in those same 3 minutes of garbage time. Going over to the Bucks, they moved up to 4, and I guess I should say the Nets dropped to 0-7 on the year, league worst in the NBA. The Milwaukee Bucks, they move up to 5-2 as they got a heroic win at the buzzer, 117-115. Giannis, league leading 40.8 player efficiency rating walking into this game. 72 true shooting on 35 usage percentage was absolutely batshit. 33 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and he hit a contested fading midi to ice the game. I've got him with a 94 mid-range rating and an 80 post fade. Ironically enough, his set shots are probably the weaker aspect of like his mid-range game. When he's off the dribble, he's actually kind of fine. But once he has like some time to think about it, it's like no, just don't do it, just drive. But he's been awesome this year. Fully deserves the 99 overall rating that I gave him. And this was Miles Turner, his return to Indiana after spending 10 years with the franchise. Only 9 points for him. He's really struggled offensively this year, but he did have 5 blocks, and his spacing is part of what allows Giannis to go crazy. I might have to drop some of his shooting ratings before too long, but overall, really solid game from him and the rest of the Bucks. Ryan Rollins, he's been the Bucks' second best player this year. I mean, it's crazy that they got him for 3 years, $12 million, only making $4 million a year. He's essentially locked down the starting job with Kevin Porter Jr. sidelined. Kevin Porter is going to be out the next 4 to 6 weeks. He's probably not getting the starting job back when he comes back, as Rollins has really been playing well. I have him up to an 80 overall, which is +5 from where 2K's got him at. I've already tweaked him in like a previous video, but 66 pass vision +3 is what one of my main changes. 75 +15 to his offensive consistency, and then 90 stamina. I have +5 from where I had it at, as he is starting and playing 32 minutes per game this season. And then going over to Indiana, they dropped to 1-6 on the year. Siakam had 32 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. Isaiah Jackson had his best game of the year with 21 points, 10 rebounds, 29 minutes. Probably his best game in years. I'm not even certain if he's ever had like a 20-10 game before. I didn't look at his career box scores or anything. But Jarris Walker, he was solid again, 18, 8, and 5 for him. Probably get him up to like a 78, 79-ish type of rating. And then Quentin Jackson wasn't able to carry over last game's high success, but he had 7 points, 4 assists in 20 minutes. He's fine overall. The Pacers, they shot 8 for 33 from 3 in this game. Obviously, it's tough for them to generate quality 3-point looks without a true point guard on the roster. So hopefully Nembhard and DJ McConnell are able to come back and give them a little bit of stability by probably in the next 2 weeks or so. Going over to the Utah Jazz, they also had a heroic performance tonight from a couple guys on the team. They beat the Boston Celtics 105-103. Yusuf Nurkic had the game-winning putback with 0 seconds. Not putback, but he got the offensive rebound and turned and had an uncontested hook 2 feet from the basket. So 11 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists for Nurkic, starting again with Walker Kessler sidelined. Lauri Markkanen, he's been averaging like 33 points so far. He had a quiet offensive night in this one for his standards, only 20 points and 9 rebounds. Taylor Hendricks, he started again with Filipowski coming off the bench. Hendricks, 2 points in 14 minutes. Filipowski, more effective, 13 points, 8 rebounds in his 19 minutes off the bench. But coming off the bench because they essentially, it's not going to be enough foot speed out there if him and Nurkic have to share the court together, so they're staggering those guys a bit. But then the big guy for the game was Keontae George with 31 points, and I did get a rating edited for him, which I had been talking about for the last week. 82 overall, plus 4 from where 2K has him at. Among the ratings that I changed for him, well, his assist rate is way up this year. It's 41% assist rate, up from 27%. 41% is essentially like a 91 pass rating. So this is a plus 10 for me. He's 59 true shooting on the year, but unlike a lot of players, like for example Tyrese Maxey, who's shooting the 46% from 3, George is actually only shooting 25% from 3. So where he's actually improved is that he's doubled his free throw rate, and he's also shooting 93% from the free throw line thus far on the year. But yeah, doubling his free throw rate. So I got his draw foul rate up 15 points. And then pass IQ also was a boost for me. That goes along with the pass vision rating. And then his offensive consistency also up 10 points for me. So plus 2. I previously had George at like actually 79 or 80 if memory serves before I got around to this. But overall plus 4 from where 2K had him. And they beat the Celtics. They dropped to 3-5 on the season. They had gotten their record to 3-3. We thought maybe they could be a little, a little sneaky good. They'll be hanging in there. I think low-end play-in team. They do have a good system in place. Well, it didn't work out so well in this one. Jaylen Brown had 36 points, was 13 of 28 from the field, but 0 for 9 on threes. He was also 10 for 11 from the free throw line. So that means he was 13 of 19 on twos, but then the 0 for 9 on 3 to, if a couple of those went in, he would have been looking at a 40-ish point game. So he's been really good this year. The 3-pointer just didn't fall for him. Celtics, season low, 11 of 51 from 3, 21.6%. They are still running Mazzulla ball, but not nearly as effective. Without Jason Tatum, along with Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, they don't have the floor spacing 5 out that they did last year. Neemias Queta is not that kind of player. Neither is Xavier Tillman, really. And then Peyton Pritchard had 18 points, but Derek White only 10 points for him on 3 for 9 shooting. His efficiency's really fallen off a cliff this year. Obviously, he's more of like a super role player than he is like somebody that they should be looking at as like their number 2 scorer or anything like that. Celtics might have missed a chance to sell really high on him. They sold off on a lot of other veteran players like Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, etc. They could have gotten some real value in return for White, but if he's going to be having a below average season, I'm not sure. But by the time the Tatum Brown pairing kind of runs its course, and White's like in his low 30, he's 33, 34 years old. I'm not really sure what they're going to be able to get for him in a trade, but in the meantime, he's one of the players who I think I definitely need to get his rating down, so I'll try to get that done within the next week, unless he has like some magical game that, some high-scoring 35-point game, which he has the ability to do. It's just harder when he's the offensive focal point. Let's go on over to the New York Knicks. They moved up to 4-3 on the season. winning a back-to-back against the Washington Wizards, 119 and 102. Jalen Brunson, only 16 and 9 in this one, 6 of 17 from the field. So it was Karl-Anthony Towns' turn to finally step it up. He'd been really struggling this season, had a career low, or not a career low, but the lowest usage rate that he's had in years. 33 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists for him. It was good to see him get it going, albeit against a very soft defensive team in the Washington Wizards. No Mitchell Robinson, as it was a back-to-back. He only played 13 minutes in the last one as well. So, I mean, did he really need off for a back-to-back? He's not really holding up as the starting center at all. But Landry Shamet essentially got the start at the 2 rather than, I think they've abandoned the whole, rather than starting Towns at the 5, at the 4, next to like a non-NBA center, they're just going to start Towns at the 5, OG at the 4, and they have such, a lot of guard depth. So Landry Shamet, it looks like he's going to be the unofficial 6th starter for the team. And he had 11 points in this one. He was pretty effective. Josh Hart was pretty good off the bench as well. He doesn't want to be that 6th starter. He just wants to be fully committed to a bench role. He had 12 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists in this one. Back-to-back good games for him after struggling a little bit physically to start the year, coming off of like a preseason back injury. And then heading over to the Wizards. Worth noting, I was talking about how I want to drop Cat's rating. Based on his performance today, I'm going to hold off on it. Let's see how he does in the next game. But Wizards, Alex Sarr, he came into this one averaging 17 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and he had 19, 8, and 7 in this one. Was going at Cat. Looked like he was like Cat's not a good defensive player either, but again, Sarr also went at Embiid. He looks a lot more polished offensively this season, making quicker decisions, etc. Not settling for threes, so he's actually performing a lot better inside the arc. So he is on the list of players I still need to get a rating edit in for. Him and George should definitely be the highest rated players on the team. CJ McCollum has something like a 10.5 player efficiency rating, and then he was not very good in this one either. So it's looking like he's probably going to be upper 70s-ish once we actually get to adjusting his rating. I already did bring down Chris Middleton. Middleton was out for this one day-to-day with an elbow ailment. So Justin Champagnie, or Julian Champagnie? Justin Champagnie. Julian is on the Spurs. Whatever. He got the start, 4 points in 17 minutes. We saw a little bit more of Marvin Bagley in this one. And if we're talking about Marvin Bagley, it means it's time to move on to the Houston Rockets, who moved up to 4-2, taking down the Mavs 110 and 102. Alperen Sengun, 26, 11, and 6, another solid game for him. Amen Thompson, 27 points, 11 of 18 from the field, won the battle of fake point guards against Cooper Flagg. Fake point guards meaning guys who they had the ball handling ability to technically be the point guard, but they aren't the greatest playmakers. But they can defend the position, I guess, too. Anyway, KD, he had an off night, 21 points, 6 of 18 from the field. Jabari Smith Jr. was out for this one, so Tari Eason got the start. He had 15 points and 5 threes. He's been solid after a dreadful first 3 games of the year. And Josh Okogie, off night for him, 0 points on over 5 shooting. But he came into this one with an 86 true shooting percentage. So he can be afforded, an off night. He was kind of due for one. It's worth noting, get his rating in. I didn't update him for his performance or anything related to this year. This is more or less just kind of based on what he did last year, and then adjusted for some of the 2K ratings that they have. Again, for anybody who's not top 100 in the league, their role player ratings are usually pretty heinous in some regard. I've got 79 on him, even though his close and mid-range rating, I completely have bottomed out because he's that good of a defensive player. 80 perimeter defense, solid, 80 help. He's extremely athletic. And anytime a player is athletic, you don't have to actually apply the that 99 intangibles hack to him. Also, his badges are significantly more robust than where 2K's got him at. But yeah, he's been the starting 2 guard so far this year for the Rockets. I don't like his rating being equal to Fred VanVleet, but that's more because they have Fred VanVleet underrated. I got to get around to fixing that. I'd probably have VanVleet in like the 82-ish range is my guess. But yeah, Okogie's been a solid part of what the Rockets have been doing this year. Going over to Dallas, they dropped to 2-5 on the year. I don't know how much longer they're going to keep doing this Cooper Flag thing. He had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 turnovers. Just play him at his natural position, guys. D'Lo, he had 2 points on 2 for 10 shooting, but he had 12 assists with 2 turnovers. He is, he's able to organize the game and run the offense. That's something that they're just not getting in their starting unit. PJ Washington, he had a bounce back game in this one, 29 points, 12 rebounds, 11 of 20 from the field. He had been struggling coming into this one. Daniel Gafford had 14 points on 7 of 9 shooting, his second game back from an injury. Max Christie, 17 points, 6 assists. I've covered this before, but he is a better player than Klay Thompson. I probably need to get his rating up a couple points. I already did drop Klay Thompson a little bit. I might have to drop him again a little further. 5 points on 2 for 9 from the field for Klay Thompson. Looking pretty washed with another year on his contract after this one. Going over to Detroit, they moved up to 5-2 on the year, 114 and 106 over the Memphis Grizzlies. Cade Cunningham had a season high, 33 points, so he is rounding into form. And then Isaiah Stewart, he got the start for Tobias Harris. He had 26 points, 14 rebounds, 4 blocks. Should Tobias even be starting is the question I pose, because he's been struggling so far this year. And it seems like Stewart would, he previously did start for them. Wouldn't be the worst for. His 3-ball is much improved. I got to get that rating up. If he's going to shoot the ball well, you can actually justify playing him at the 4 over Tobias Harris. And that would unleash Paul Reed as their full-time backup center then. So definitely very in favor of that. Let's go on over to the Grizzlies. They dropped to 3-5, playing a back-to-back. Ja Morant, though, fully rested as he was suspended for the previous game. He had 18 points, 10 assists on 5 of 16 shooting, so not particularly more effective than he was in the last one when he shot 3 for 14. Jaren Jackson Jr. led them with 21 points. Jock Landale had 13 points. There were actually people who thought that the Grizzlies messed up by trading Jay Huff and then signing Landale to a minimum. He has been really good for them this year. Who's not been really good for them this year is KCP and Jalen Wells. So far, 4 points on 2 of 14 from the field for Wells, over 7 on threes. Woof. And then KCP, 2 points on 0 for 4 shooting, double woof, 2 for 18 from the starting wings in this game. Whereas like Colin Coward, 17 points on 5 of 9 from the field. How is he not starting at this point? I don't understand. Like, just get these two guys. One of these two guys has got to hit the bench in favor of Coward. Charles Bassey, who's not pictured because I can't add hardship contract players to the roster. He had 3 points and 10 rebounds. His first game action since signing a hardship deal a couple days ago. And then Cam Spencer, I got a rating edit in for him. 13 points, 3 assists, 15 minutes off the bench, was 4 of 6 from 3. So he is a 74 overall, plus 6 from where 2K's got him at. Worth noting that he played over John Conchar in the rotation in this game, as well as, and essentially was the backup point guard behind Ja Morant, as Javon Small was a DNP, and these guys are all hurt. And I guess let's actually feature Spencer's ratings just a little bit. 2K had him with like 66 ball handle rating. Before I got to him, that would be the the major change. Dime dropping 3-point gunner is the archetype that he ended up with. I really like the archetypes, as it really showcases like how poorly 2K is at reading some of these players, and like how much these players really pop when you actually show them the proper attention and care that they deserve. Going over to the Nuggets, they go to 4-2 on the season, 130 to 124 over the Sacramento Kings. Jokic came in averaging 20, 14, and 11, and he had a season high 34 points, had 7 rebounds, so he didn't triple-double in this one. After not triple-doubling in the last one, he's on a two-game no triple-double streak. 14 assists, and then also 4 steals and 2 blocks, 14 of 22 from the field, 4 of 10 from 3. Easy day versus Sabonis and the Kings. Christian Brown added 21 points, 20 for Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, 15, 7, and 7. Cam Johnson's been a little quiet. He was 0 for 5 on threes in this one. At the very least, I probably got to get his overall rating below Christian Brown. He should probably be the number 5 starter for the team. Going over to the Sacramento Kings, Russell Westbrook tried to have a revenge game against his former team. 26 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, but he had 6 turnovers in 37 minutes, team high 37 minutes. 10 of 17 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3. I'm glad Vivek has been able to give Russell Westbrook porn watchers their everything they wanted. Just give Westbrook all the opportunities he has to just put up empty stats on a garbage, not even like a play-in caliber team. I don't. This team is fucking horrible. Domantas Sabonis, 13 points, 17 rebounds, 5 assists. Again, more empty stats. 5 of 10 from the field, 0 for 0 from 3. Again, Jokic was 4 for 10 from 3. 3-point shooting is among the differences between he and Jokic. Like Jokic, there are games where he doesn't take threes, but that's like a choice that he makes. When he does want to shoot threes, he can shoot them in volume. Whereas Sabonis, like last year, he shot a high percentage, but he only was taking like 1-ish 3 a game, and he's hesitant to take them when he's open. So it's not something that he's ever actually looking to do. When you've got Nikola Jokic, not the fastest foot center out there, you would ideally want to be able to stretch the floor and create opportunities for all the drivers on the team. But Sabonis, they're playing these 4 guards and a big. They should be trying to play a little bit more like 5 outish, but they guess they don't really have the personnel even for that. Between Schroeder, Westbrook, DeRozan, none of these guys are really shooters. Yeah, again, the more you look at this team, they're like the most on paper team of all time, and the pieces just don't mesh together at all. Really gross. Looking like probably a 25-win year for them. Let's go on over the Lakers, who they don't even have like talent play. Like Luke is out and Austin Reeves were out for this one. LeBron obviously is out. So they had a ragtag group of not the greatest talent in the world, and they were able to beat the Portland Trailblazers 123 to 115. DeAndre Ayton had the revenge game of his life, coming back from a 1-game absence. 29 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, 14 of 19 from the field. Of course, an Ayton game wouldn't be complete unless he only took 2 free throws. 19 field goal attempts to 2 free throws. But he was cooking his former team, Donovan Clingan, not able to keep up with Ayton in this one. Rui Hachimura had 28 points on 10 of 15 shooting. So the Blazers have a lot of guys who have a comparable size to him in Jeremy Grant, Chris Murray, Denny Avdia, Tamani Kamara. They don't really have like a true power forward size 4, so maybe Hachimura was able to get going against those guys. And then Nick Smith Jr. Had the game of his life off the bench. 25 points, 6 assists, a lot of difficult jumpers that went in. Of course, the games where they don't go in are, the really bad Nick Smith games. But Really, really solid game for him. Probably the biggest game of his career. Obviously, the Hornets haven't been playing for very much over the last 2 years. He had 25 points, 6 assists, 10 of 15 from the field, 5 of 6 from 3. So that's something that maybe we got to look at a little later. I don't want to overreact too much to one game, but probably it wouldn't surprise me if Nick Smith ended up in that 75, 76 range a little deeper into the season. And then Bronny James, 5 points for him, a career high, 6 assists in 19 minutes. Definitely the most meaningful minutes of his career. Again, offensively, he doesn't look great. He did get a lob from Austin Reeves in the last game, where Reeves was joking that like he's the only player in history to throw a lob to both father and son while playing for them on the same team. But the Portland Trailblazers, they have also been playing pretty well, 4-2 since Diego Splitter took over the team, but they dropped to 4-3 on the year. Denny Avdia, he's averaging 23 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He had 33 in this one. Obviously, not a ton of defense played by either side. Shaedon Sharpe had 23 off the bench. Shaedon Sharpe had 23 in the starting lineup. Jeremy Grant had 18 off the bench. And it's worth noting that I don't know if I actually covered this yet, but Blake Wesley is going to miss about a month with broken bone in his foot. So the Blazers are extremely shorthanded in the backcourt. Shaedon Sharpe is essentially he was getting minutes at backup point guard in this one, in the last one. In this one, it was actually Caleb Love, which might have explained why Nick Smith got to go off a little bit, as it was two-way player versus two-way player in this one. Going over to the Heat, they held on and beat the Clippers 120 to 119. It was the triumphant return to LA for Norm Powell, who had 21 points. Also his return to the lineup. Bam Adebayo got the start at center, had 25 points, hit 2 threes in this one. So Andrew Wiggins, he slid over to the 4 in this one, with Norm Powell joining Pelle Larsson in the starting unit. Larsson had 7 points, otherwise kind of quiet, and then Wiggins had 17 points. Of course, the Clippers also run like double wing in their starting lineup with Kawhi and Derrick Jones Jr., which is what allowed the Heat to kind of get away with that alignment. But Kel'el Ware, he was solid off the bench as well, had 16 points, 2 for 2 on threes. So the Heat were essentially able to space out the Clippers a little bit, hit 4 threes across their center position. Probably going to get the 3-point ratings of both of these guys up. And they went on a 23-5 run in the third quarter thanks to their defense. And it's also worth come to my attention that the Heat are running Memphis's movement offense from last season. So that's something that definitely can affect their playbooks, their tendencies, their ratings. Once we get a little deeper into the year, maybe I can give a little bit of a deeper dive onto how some of like the Memphis offense works and how that would affect a lot of like the statistical performance, like benchmarks for the team, and we'll dive in and some various like changes to like the coaching settings, points of emphasis, and all that jazz once we get a little more data under our belts. And then just finishing off with the Clippers, they dropped to 3-3 on the year. Harden 29, 7 and 8. Kawhi 27 in this one. He missed a game-winning step-back 3 at the buzzer that would have won it for them. Season high 12 points in 20 minutes for Bradley Beal on 5 of 8 shooting. Baby steps, I guess. Clippers have really lacked a third. Zubac is technically their third star, but he's more of like a defensive player rather than like a reliable offensive option. They have a lot of guys on the team that could step forward into that third scorer type of role, but none of them have really done it as of yet. We'll see if Beal comes around and is able to provide what they lost when they traded Norm Powell, but we'll see. Thanks, guys, for watching. A little bit of a longer video, but there was a lot to break down from today, and then a lot that I was able to get done in the last 24 hours. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys tomorrow.